Hey everyone, how's it going? This is P4L. Thanks for joining the live stream. We're going to get started. This is Mastermind Creations R-45 Tortor. This is a really early test shot, so don't get it mixed up. This is a sample. There's going to be a lot of loose pieces. There's going to be obviously no paint on this guy whatsoever. But since you guys were excited once I showed him off a little bit, I thought it'd be good to at least ask MMC if we could preview them off, since you guys are excited about the last member of their DJD. And they said, okay, no problem, even if there are a bunch of changes. So, hey, Daniel, how's it going? Hey, Katos. Daniel says, I came here to see the most important answer. Does Siege Skytread fit in his hole? So I don't have Skytread. Is Skytread the same model as Flywheels? I believe so, but Siege figures should pretty easily, like, at least somewhat go in if you get half of them. So this is their, I forget what his third-party name is, but their guzzle can kind of fit in here if you break them in half as part of their gimmick. But it works well. They've shown it with Flywheels before, so hopefully that will do well. Hey, Evil Ash. Yeah, a lot of live streaming. I've been trying to do a little bit more of this. Hey, Andrew, how's it going? So again, this is a test shot. It is a sample, very early. There's a lot of actually improvements that I'll try to touch on as I go through, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So we'll go through transformation. Just be aware this is a sample. For those of you who don't understand English, I wish I could translate that. A lot of people always get concerned when they see a test shot and they think it's the final just because they don't understand English. So I apologize in advance. So let's do a quick 360 of this guy. This guy is very, very massive. He does look quite nice. He doesn't have too much kibble on him. And they've actually put a lot of thoughtful design into making everything kind of lock into place. Things can hide where they need to. You have a couple of different options for a couple of things. And for a figure this big, he does feel very, very solid in terms of his joints and so forth. Actually, let me get a ruler real quick. And so we can see just how tall he is. Hey, Eric, I haven't seen you in a while, man. Hope you're doing well. So he is around 11 inches to the top of the head, maybe 12 inches total if you count the backpack and so forth. I will also bring out a scale real quick. Let's make sure we get it zeroed out, and then you guys can see how heavy he is. Let's see. He is 2 pounds, 2 ounces. 2 pounds, 2 ounces. There is no die cast in them, at least as far as I know. I hope you practice. Yeah, this won't be a debacle like the Coot Redux review I did. Really quickly, before we go into anything else, I did want to show him off with some of the other DJD members. Here he is with their Helix. And who else do we have here? I basically brought all the crew in except Nickel, just because I think she's overrated as a character. And who cares about her? So let's see here. I think that's pretty much the DJD crew. So yeah, I like how they're all different sizes. Hey, you new tabbies, good to see you again. All right, so I think they scale pretty well. I've always been curious which one of these guys is supposed to be taller. I've seen it both ways. Some saying that Helix is supposed to be taller than Tesserus, and I've seen it the other way. I've seen people say that he's supposed to be way, way taller. So I'm not really sure. But in any case, I think the differentiation in scale is still good enough, even if it's not completely accurate. If anybody knows or has a link to a accurate description of their height, that'd be great. Share that with everyone in the comment section or in the live stream. Let's see what else I can compare him to. Oh, I do have another one. Send all hate mail about Nickel to Pake. Yeah, you can do that. Pake4life@gmail.com. You can send all the hate mail. I think she's overrated, but you can see here he is with Iron Factory's version of Tesserus. He's about twice as tall, maybe a little bit more than twice as tall. Oh, no. Yeah, a little bit less than twice as tall. All right. So let's go through articulation actually, so you guys can see what he's up to. He does have a ball jointed head. Real quickly up here, there's actually additional molding that the newer version has that's more accurate. It has like kind of semicircles, gray semicircles that will be up around here. So that's something different. He also will have a removable faceplate, so you can see underneath his faceplate in the final release. I don't have that ability, or at least I'm not brave enough to try to remove this. So yeah, that's his head articulation. This will hopefully tab better. I would imagine it will. He does have his kind of claws. He has 2 sets of them. And these are pretty loose up here on this joint. But they also have a bunch of articulations. So they have that swivel, the swivel here, mushroom peg. They have a pin joint here and here. Another pin joint up here. And I feel like this part may be able to rotate, but I don't want to force it. And then the claws each have, at least in this version, 1 molded pin joint at the top. So you have both of those. You can keep them out in robot mode or hang them around back, whichever way you feel like. The missile pods up here also has a bit of articulation. You can angle it up or towards the front. Shoulders are on a swivel, just friction, and can come out all the way 90 degrees, which is a nice range of articulation for such a bulky guy. Bicep swivel. He does have an elbow bend, a little bit more than 90 degrees, as you can see. Let's see. Well, I'm missing a lot of questions. Yeah, Helix apparently did. I just talked to the MMC guys. They said that Helix should have landed in the U.S. Not too long ago, the boat. So it should be getting to retailers soon and shipping out to you guys very soon. The MMC ones will be next. Just this and more will complete the team. Yep, that's correct. AZ said this was an older sample. Yeah, this is definitely an older sample. So let's see here. Getting back to the articulation, he does have a ball jointed wrist, which gives you a little bit more playability than just a swivel. Ball jointed thumb. His fingers are individually articulated. This one was actually seemingly constructed or put together backwards. I think this is supposed to be the pointer finger, which has an extra joint here, so you can get a straighter finger. And I think they just assembled this incorrectly, because on this side, that is on the correct pointer finger, so that you can get this one to point straight, while the other ones are just a single molded piece. And I think I said the thumb is on a ball joint. There we go. Waist, he does have a 360 waist swivel. And then additionally, which you guys will be happy about, just like their Helix, he does have an ab crunch. This one is actually ratcheted. You can hear that nice and tight ratchet coming from there. Oh, I forgot in the chest, all of these 4 layers of like sawing teeth are articulated, so you can do some grinding action. And I mentioned this in, I think, one of my previous live streams. This centerpiece has like 2 wheels that seem to, or like sets of treads that kind of fold over each other. It almost seems like you might be able to open this up. I haven't been able to do that, and I'm obviously not going to mess with it too much on this sample. But it'd be cool if you can open that up and maybe there's some other details. But paint-wise, they had a lot of nice pink highlights in the final version. Excuse me, I got something caught in my throat. Here, let me just move this off to the back, just because they do kind of get floppy in the way. So coming to the hips, he does have softly ratcheted hips that come forward, almost 90 degrees. Well, you can probably get 90. Yeah, you can get 90 degrees backwards. You run into his hip skirts or his butt skirts. His butt skirts they're on ball pegs, so they can move and shift out of the way if you want. He also has this butt plate, which I'm not really sure exactly how it's supposed to be transformed, like up like this or like this. I don't have instructions, obviously, so I'm just guesstimating based on what I think. Here, this should actually be tabbed in to secure that backpack. He does have outward 90 degrees. 360 on the thigh swivel. I don't know why you would need 360 other than transformation. And he has this kind of weird thigh bend. So I think they originally did this so that you can get him flat-footed when he's kind of standing straight. They did actually add toe pivot on the final version. So this one doesn't pivot right now to give you kind of a toe tilt, but they did add that. So this is kind of going to be, I guess, kind of a moot joint, and it's also kind of a weird one, but at least you have that if you need some extra articulation there. He does have double jointed knees, so he has a joint up here as well as one down here. So he can get like 90, a little bit more than 90 degrees on these big honking knees. His knee plate moves up and down. He even has this plate that goes out of the way and hides in for alt mode. And then coming to the feet, I don't think he has any articulation here aside from the toe tip here, and here. And right now, and like I said, he will have a rotating toe at the end, but nothing with the heel, and not a true ankle tilt. It will just be a toe tilt. Antoine Lewis, yeah, he does have ab crunches ratcheted. He can go, I think maybe 30 degrees or so. Actually, if you look at Helix, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's caught in my throat. Helix also looks like he's supposed to have a ratcheted one. You can see the ratcheting gears here, but it's just friction on him, a nice and tight friction. But it looks like they had originally designed it to be ratcheted. But yeah, they fully integrated a ratcheted joint for his ab crunch. Oh, the one other piece that I should have mentioned is that his shoulders are also on a sliding joint, which I didn't understand at first, or I didn't discover at first, but it's a sliding joint. So for robot mode, you can have it. You're supposed to have it slid all the way forward, but you can also slide it back if you need to for some kind of poses or whatever. But you will need to do that for transformation. When is this guy supposed to ship? I think he was originally supposed to come out maybe September or last Q4 of this year. I don't know if that's still going to be the case with COVID and everything. Everything kind of got backed up. They did send out MMC did send out a updated schedule early on in COVID or when things were getting back to normal-ish, but I don't know what that schedule is right now off the top of my head. Hey, Chris, his chest doesn't like I was saying before, it looks like he might be able to open, but because there's like a folding mechanism and it's actually like, you can see that I can pull it out a little bit, but at least on this sample, I can't figure out how to do it, and I don't want to break it, so I don't want to speak to whether it can or cannot at this time. Up top? What do you mean? I don't think anything like, maybe, oh yeah, you're right. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I didn't even know that. I guess you can open this for some reason. Yeah, that's new to me. I don't know why you would need to, but maybe this is, again, some playability. So you can see a little bit clearer. These two pieces fold in on themselves. Hold on one second. Let me see. See, it looks like I might be able to, like, pull this open, but, again, I don't really know. But, yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Somebody knows a lot more than I do about this figure. Chest is supposed to light up. All right, Chris, where are you getting this inside information? Hey, Miguel, how's it going? All right. So, yeah, the hinge I thought was really just for the ab crunch. But, yeah, nice eye, Chris. I don't know where you're getting your information, but, yeah, it does open up. So that's new to me. Oh, promo pics. Okay, I didn't know that. All right, so that's really it for robot mode. We will get back to robot mode later, but I did want to quickly show you this, and then we'll go into into transformation, and then we'll come back into robot mode to finish off the review, just so you can see it. Again, this is a sample. Yeah, T-Man, I did study, but not too much. The face swap, I don't think this actually works on this version. I did try to pull it just a little bit, but I did mention that they will have that option for the final one. All right, so let's go ahead and get into transformation if we don't have too many questions now. If you have any questions, I may not get to them just because the chat does go really quickly, especially on my little phone here. So if you guys have questions, you might want to save that till the end of the review, or preview to be more accurate. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is deal with the legs. So I'm going to come down here, bring the butt plate down. We'll rotate the waist at 180 degrees, and this is going to go like this. We'll just hold that for now. The thighs also have to rotate 180 degrees to get them around. And we'll deal with one leg at a time. So the first thing we'll do is fold up the toe. And I'm really actually quite impressed with this transformation. There's things I found out every time I like transform it that make it a little bit cleaner and a lot more satisfying and solid transformation here. So you want to rock this back. You want to pull this piece out. So this sits at this kind of angle. And then these were plugged in here. We're going to plug it into these further back ones now. Like, oh, come on. Like here. Come on. And here. And then you'll see these tabs will go into the back of the thigh. We'll clean that up a little bit later. This piece does flip in and under. This piece is just kind of interesting just because you don't really need it, but I guess they wanted to have that detail there. So we'll flip that in like so. And then there's a bunch of places where the thighs kind of connect. So there's a big tab here that will go into the crotch. This tab will go into the hip joint here. This is going to come down. And you'll see these tabs will go into the treads themselves. Like that. And that will go in there. But let's go ahead and get the other leg transformed too. And then we'll get both of the legs kind of sandwiched together. So it holds very solidly in alt mode. You want to make sure you make use of both those knee joints to get it up and back like so. Again, same thing. We're going to unpeg both of these. Bring this piece out and down. And then repeg these in closer to down here towards the back of these treads. Sorry if I'm struggling a little bit. This guy is quite huge, so it makes it a little challenging to kind of maneuver him on camera. We're going to tab this into... Oop, I can't close that up yet, sorry. I got to bring this down, tab that in here, and then we can tab both halves. There's a peg here, there's a tab here, and I think there's another one at the bottom down here, yeah. So there's a bunch, like 3 or 4 different tabbing sections that will solidify the whole bottom piece here in alt mode. So that's the bottom half. Oops, sorry, let me scooch down a bit. That's the bottom half. Done. Oh, these should tab in a little bit cleaner. There we go. So there we go here. We'll straighten out the upper body ratchet, deal with the arms. So the arms, we're going to move these out of the way. The arms are going to come up and back behind here, and they're going to bend 90 degrees. You can move the hands any which way you want to kind of hide it if you want, but we'll just go like this. Tab these in, if I can manage it. Here, let's just do it this way. Oh, I know why it's not working. We have to pull back on the shoulder joint. I always forget that. This piece, which was up here, was going to fold down, come around like that. That's going to tab into the hip, and this piece is going to tab in right here. If I can get that all aligned. There we go. Same thing on this side. So we're going to get the arm down. This tab will slot into the forearm. Once we bring the shoulder back again, which I already forgot about. And again, you can probably hide, I've done it before where you hide the hands flipped around so you don't see the hands. I'm just going to be bothered to do that this time. Bring this down and around, fold this up, and again, it's going to tab into the hip and up here, and there's some other tabs that are kind of hidden that lock all these treads into place. So now that's all solidified. Coming to the head, you're gonna lift up this panel. I like flipping this around a bit because you do have a hole on the back, so you could theoretically see the face. I did just have like some beef jerky that was like Carolina Reaper jerky that my neighbors just gave us, so maybe that's what's causing me to cough a bit. This tab will come up here. Or just have kind of a froggy voice right now. This piece will come down. These were tabbed in here, but you just released that. You want to bring this down. It has the kind of wheel piece here. This is going to come up and it's going to tab in here on each of these. Can't see the tab right now. There we go. And with that, we have Tortor or Tesserus in alt mode. And I think this is the correct orientation for this. I mean, I could be a bit wrong here or there, but looking at the pictures, this is pretty close. I'm going to do a quick 360 while I take a swig of water to try to get rid of this weirdness going on in my throat. But yeah, he is massive. He's super long. I don't even know how he's gonna get transported. Like both modes are pretty big, so it's gonna be tough to get him. He's gonna be tough to get him in any kind of small box. He's more than 2 streaks long, like 2.5 streaks long. He's like 1, 2, 3, a little bit more streaks wide. You can see him next to like a Legends class figure here. Yeah, I think that's good enough for comparisons. 2 pretty meaningless, not related at all alt mode comparisons. How many Tiger tracks? I don't know. Nobody cares about Tiger tracks. So as far as articulation here, he does have, again, this missile pod that can go up and down. And that's basically it, aside from the claws that we've already talked about. The treads in here, the shredders in here still work. This is tabbed in place, so I guess you could open it up if you wanted to. From the bottom, it does look like he will have additional wheels here to go along with this one. So obviously the treads don't work, but he'll have some semblance of rolling on the bottom. I don't have flywheels. I don't really collect the main line, but as I showed before and in the preview picture, here he is with their guzzle. I just don't remember what his name is for a third party, but you can see he can grab on. He's already ripped in half from the toy that he has, but it makes for a cool scene. A legend size figure. I don't have flywheels, but yeah, you can have him in. Here's a Legends class figure. I forget, again, this is not even mine. I have no idea if it's Magic Square or New Age, but he can get in there, get shredded up. But yeah, I think he's a cool little figure. Well, not little. He's a cool big figure in the sense that he does have some more playability than I was expecting, especially with the one that Chris talked about, being able to open his chest and so forth. So yeah, there's not much else to talk about with this mode. He does look quite nice, and it does look fairly accurate to the artwork that we've seen from Milne. T-Man says he almost wants it now. T, do you collect IDW figures? I didn't think so. But yeah, there's also some improvements coming along the way. Like I mentioned before, I think there's going to be more paint on these pieces to make it more obvious that it's part of the crotch plate and so forth. But yeah. So yeah, let's get transformed back into robot mode, and then we'll just answer some questions and do any others. Do you still have MMC Tarn? Yeah, I was showing him off before. You can see how big he is in this mode. The only IDW figure I have is 8's Tailgate. What's 8's? 8's Tailgate? All right. So yeah, let's get back to transformation into robot mode, and we'll end the review with some questions and answers. All right, so first thing we'll do is untab these sections here. We can bring these down. Same thing up here. We can bring these down. Comes around like that. This will have to flip up. and then these will tab, it will tab into this and this, and all that will tab in to this big tab here. But before we do that, let's go ahead and get the arms out of the way. So we're going to untab these, separate them up like so. We're going to bring the arms down like that, bring them around, and then we'll go ahead and close this up. Come around to the head, bring that around. And there's a little tab here. We'll move these giant claw arms out of the way. And then we'll deal with the lower body. Lower body will rotate 180 degrees at the waist, and then we'll just split the legs, untabbing at the thigh as well. You can hear all the ratchets. The butt plate. Again, I'm not really sure exactly how this is supposed to go. We'll go like this. Make sure we have these untabbed as well. Thighs will rotate 180 degrees and take them one at a time. First thing we'll do is unpeg this section. And then we're going to bring that down. We'll get the toe flipped out. And this is going to rock up. Like so. So it fits in nicely there. And then these pieces will peg in to the more inner peg hole there. One piece that's really hard to get to, at least in this sample, just because it's so tightly toleranced, is that kneecap piece. It's really hard to get in here and push it out. And you also have to have this kneecap piece kind of angled at a certain way to get the clearance. I found it the easiest just to push it through with some kind of spudger tool or some sort. But yeah, it's really hard to get to right now. If it wasn't so tightly toleranced, I think it would be much easier, but there we go. And then we just straighten out the leg, and one leg's done. We're going to repeat on the other side, flipping this around 180, unpegging this section and this section, straighten out the leg just enough so we can get clearance to, once again, try to tackle this small detailed kneecap thing that isn't wholly necessary, but I guess it's there. And for completeness, I'll go ahead and show you guys, even though it is kind of a pain to show off. So you see, I'm kind of struggling just trying to get at it at the correct angle. So hopefully they'll have another mechanism to pull this out, or maybe there is a better way to do it and I just haven't figured it out. There we go. Straighten the leg out. Pull this piece down and tuck that in. And finally, these two pieces will peg in on each side of the bottom foot tread. Oh, sorry, I didn't pull out this toe. All right, with that, we finally have Tortor back in robot mode. And that's really it for the preview. I did want to take time to answer some of your questions. Oops, this mushroom peg came off. I did want to take time to answer some of your questions that I may have missed while doing the transformation. But I'm really impressed with how well this was kind of designed in terms of, honestly, this is going to be a one-off figure, right? More than likely. Like, who? Oh, sorry, the shoulders can pull forward. I'm not really sure how they would even go about remolding this other than, you know, kind of a dark black and purple version that they've had for all of these, the asterisk one. But I don't know that he's such a popular character that they would even get their money back by doing a black repaint. So it's kind of interesting that they went through so much engineering and design for a one-off character like this. So I'll be curious to see how they make their money back, because just shipping on this guy, especially with COVID, must be massive. Like, what else could they even retool this as? Anybody have any ideas? What other big tank-like shredder-chested transformers are even in existence that they could retool this to? I'm happy to know that they didn't even just quit at what they had here. Like I said, they are making some more playability features with the faces and adding some toe twists, adding some more paint. So I'm glad that they are adding some of that. I think that will help make this guy even more fun to play with. But yeah, for $200, I think this is a pretty decent deal. I was gonna try to show him off against their overlord, but he's too far back in my shelf to be able to pull out easily. So let me go back and let's see what questions we have here. Tabby says treads have wheels. So there is one here, and then I think from what I saw before, there might be wheels that come out here. Because actually now looking at it, it does look like something. Oh, I found something. This flips out. I guess maybe this was supposed to be for robot mode. Oh, and it flips around like this too. I'm honestly not sure why this exists. But it's got to be for robot mode. Hey, Miguel, how's it going? Miguel says, please tell the good people in MMC that now that they are done with the DDD, an IDW Prime would be nice. Antoine Lewis thinks that Armada Scavenger with modifications. Yeah, I mean, obviously this makes most sense as heal support, but I mean, he already has a lot of heal going on, like more than enough. I've never had any issues with that, but I guess, yeah, additional heal support, but do we really need it to rotate to do that? It doesn't even look like it makes sense to rotate it like that. I thought actually this is where they were going to hide the other wheels so that it could fake roll, but I guess not. So yeah, this is one of the fun things about getting prototypes is that I discover things like every single time, and then I get some information like from Chris about the chest opening that I didn't know about. Because they don't really tell me much about these figures either. So, yeah, it's kind of fun just figuring these out on your own, transformation on your own. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, there are some wheels, but I'm not really sure. Aren't they hinting at a prime? I don't know about a prime, IDW prime. We already have a couple of those. They do have the Star Convoy that I've shown off before in some of the other ones. Cat Poppy says, I can't wait for the Defensor. Yeah, I'm interested in that too. I haven't heard anything new about that. Yeah, their blades design. Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. So Tabby says that they finished their blade designs last week. Hey, Pack, how's it going? Clinical says, hey, Clinical, good to see you again. Could be a huge pencil sharpener. Any news on Grimlock? No. So like they have a lot of stuff in the pipeline. A lot of their stuff that they showed me in the past actually never sees the day of light for one reason or another. For example, they did show me back in the day, like maybe a year ago, that they had an updated 6-shot that they were going to release that was much better than their old one. But since we've already gotten so many 6-shots as of late, I think that's off the table for now. Yeah, the Grimlock, I think it only makes sense just because Grimlock is such a popular character. He also played not an insignificant role in the More Than Meets the Eye storyline. Is there Fort Mad project? I guess you're saying Fort Max. I don't remember their Fort. Yeah, their Fort Max project, I think, as of right now, is dead. It failed the funding, which is too bad. I did like that. I did like that design that they came up with, but unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Where is my Helix? There he is. If you guys are interested in seeing him next to a different, no, a different IDW Prime, I can bring another IDW Prime out. The only one I have is Generation Toy. Let me see if I can find him real quick. Where is he? I can't even find my Generation Toy Optimus Prime right now. I don't know where he is. Huh. I'm kind of concerned that I don't know where my generation tool. Oh, here's something I can do. Here is an IDW Prime. This is the Flame Toys model kit. Where's my Generation Toy IDW Prime? I gotta find him now. I really like that figure. Where could he have gone? Anyway, all right, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'll have to look for him a little bit later. I used to see Gigapower stuff before public viewing. Oh, that's nice. It'd be crazy if they made a gift set. Yeah, I don't think so. That'd be way too big. Oh, just for giggles, since I have him, here he is for next to MP44. So still quite a massive figure. I did measure him earlier. Like I said, from bottom to top of the head, he's about 11 inches tall. Which other secret figures have you seen? Well, I mean, it wouldn't be secret if I told you, and I might get in trouble, but I think the 6-shot one is okay just because it was already a figure that they had released. I think it was just a updated version of that. Antoine says that Prime is the wrong hood, so he has to get out of here. But yeah, I'm glad that this group is going to be finished up very soon. For those that you guys are not in the know, they are reissuing, I believe, these three. So if you are now just wanting to get into this line, you have a great opportunity to go ahead and pre-order the reissues of Tarn, Kaon, and Syndicus. Voss, sorry. I've been very happy with these this line of DJD figures. I've always been a fan of them. I think like a lot of people, even though they came out of nowhere and they were just really interesting, captivating characters. These two were the ones that had the least, I guess, personality or screen time or page time. So I didn't know how much we would actually get out of them in terms of playability and nice character design. But I think these are pretty good for such big. I'm just surprised that they took on the challenge of such big characters, which are going to cost a lot for molding and are probably going to be the least popular of the bunch, I would imagine. Is my Voss plastic degenerating? No, I haven't had problems, but I know that they said early on there were a lot of reports of this guy breaking. So I'm hoping that with the reissue, they'll have addressed some of those potential issues with this guy. But mine has been fine. I've transformed him tons of times. I haven't recently though, so maybe not to jinx myself. Maybe I'll just keep him in robot mode for a while, so I don't break mine. Cat Poppy asked, any news on the other line besides Reformatted and Oculum Max they announced 2 years ago? No, nothing I can probably share right now. Do you think they'll continue to do more IDW characters? Yeah, I think so. Like they've already, I think they've already shown off their, or at least announced their Star Saber, right? Hopefully they have announced that. I'm pretty sure they have. If not, forget what I said. But I'm pretty sure they have. So I'm pretty sure they're going to continue doing the IDW line. There's still a lot more characters. They still have a lot of at least projects that they've shown off. Who knows if they're going to continue to do that just because that series is kind of getting older now. And I don't know how many people, like for me, I stopped reading once it started doing Lost Light. So once More Than Meets the Eye ended, I stopped reading it. So I never read any of the Lost Light. I'd still like to see a new Drift. So their Drift is kind of the older IDW design. I really like the design that he had throughout most of More Than Meets the Eye. And then a recolor of the even newer version that he had when he came back with Ratchet. After he found Ratchet. Yeah, Death Soars, Chrome Dome, those are all well known. Anyone in the chat have a coot for sale? Yeah, if you guys weren't with me with my coot Livestream. That was really, really bad. But I did confirm that there are at least one major change to this mold that makes him transform much easier than the original one. I know TM Reviews said he's going to do or at least he mentioned to me that he would do a fine-tooth comparison between the two of them, between the reissue and the original, that may show off why this one was much easier to transform this time around. So there might be some little fixes that make this one worth picking up over the original. But like I said, I did backtrack, or at least go back on my original assessment that I really didn't like this guy and the transformation was terrible. So whatever they did to him, besides the ones I know of, like making this rotate a bit more, made him much more enjoyable as a figure. So I'm going to hold on to mine for at least the foreseeable future. I want to see MMC do a Prowl. Yeah, Prowl did play a pretty significant role in IDW, so I don't see why they might not. And obviously with the Datsuns, you're going to always have a lot of remold possibilities there. Yeah, I do have the prototype for their Chrome Dome. If you guys want to see that again, I did a full preview of that not too long ago. I haven't seen their rewind yet, though. So I don't know if they've shown anything off with their rewind. But here he is with their Chrome Dome. Chrome Dome's actually pretty tall, surprisingly. He's more than halfway tall. I think he might be taller than Tarn, looking at him now. Oh, he's almost head-to-head with Tarn. So yeah, they still have this guy coming out sometime soon. If you guys haven't seen it, I did do a preview of this along with full transformation. He's a pretty fun little figure as well. All right, let's see. What other questions? Yeah, Chris, I just showed off the Chrome Dome there. Scramble City Custom says, are they going to jump on TF Prime line? That'd be interesting. I've said this many a times, you know, Transformers is cyclic, and as we get older, as we go along, the younger generation, the older generation is going to phase out, and we're going to have a younger generation of fans. So I think TF Prime, Transformers Prime, is one of those that will probably come up soon. Although I do think that maybe the Armada series or the Unicron trilogy, that's probably going to be what is. It seems to be the line that's picking up the most steam with at least third parties. The Scavengers crew, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they do the Scavengers crew. But honestly, they've been doing a lot of the Scavengers in the main line, so I don't know if they're going to invest in doing that. I'll trade you Carnitas for Coot. No, I'm good. Top Spin and Twin Twist. Poppy, he asked if they're going to do one of those. They actually did one under the Mech Ideas line a long time ago. I still have them. But honestly, from what I've seen, the mainline releases that they had for, was it Combiner Wars or Titan's Return? Titan's Return of Top Spin Twin Twist seem to be better in most regards. So, any news on the Infinity? I don't know what that is. Andrew, sorry. Yeah, a lot of people seem to think that I know a lot about what's going on in the pipeline, unless I specifically ask. I usually don't. I don't get this information firsthand. A lot of times, I'll see the MMC crew at TF cons, and then they'll be there and they'll show me some stuff that they have, either photos or something like that. But since we haven't had any conventions as of late, I don't get to see any of the secret samples or get any news firsthand. So that's one of the things that bums me out the most about not having TFCon, is just not seeing the folks from MMC, Fans Project, and so forth. Make Toys, they're usually there. Flames Toys folks are usually there. They usually are really cool about showing some stuff, bring some samples, showing us behind the scenes what's coming down the line. So not being able to have that is really a bummer. Andrew asks, it was a new line that they were supposed to start Drift with an Earth mode was supposed to be first, but nothing materialized. I don't remember, honestly. Any word on Blastoff? Blastoff, I mean, even when I previewed him, I mean, he was well worth just releasing as is then. I'm sure they're probably doing some more improvements. You saw that they're releasing a secondary, I think, toy head with him. He should be shipping pretty soon if he hasn't already. Yeah, Edu Tabby says this month, September for Brawl, right? Again, those were all kind of the updated timelines based on COVID, but as most of you know, stuff from China is still being really delayed in other countries as well. So, yeah, we'll see. MMC is my favorite line. Can I hang with you guys the next con, whenever that is? Yeah, you guys can always hang out with us. The booth is always open. The guys are always there. We always have reps that are there chatting it up with some cool samples and everything like that. So, yeah, definitely come by. Have you seen their Brawl in hand? No, I have not. Hard Return, their photographer, one of their photographers, he has it. So I'm super jealous. I usually see Hard Return at the TFCon Toronto. He lives up there in Canada. He's a Canuck, so that's the only time I see him. So unfortunately, I haven't seen that. I keep begging for them to send me a Brawl. So we'll see. Maddie the dentist, who I assume is a dentist in his free time, is looking forward to Blastoff and Brawl. I'm really looking forward to Probus, their Brawl. From what I've heard, some of them said that that's their favorite. I do like the fact that he is such kind of a, not mass shifting, but in the sense that he is a different size in robot mode, but he still makes for a good leg in the same size. So I think that's really it for now. Going on a lot longer than I thought I was. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this preview. Thanks to MMC as usual for letting me do this. Thanks for Toy Dojo for bringing a sponsor. If you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below as usual. If you like these previews and live streams, please give it a thumbs up. These are the ones I really enjoy the most over traditional reviews, so I'll keep doing these as long as you guys keep liking them. And yeah, you can pre-order this guy. I think he's going for $200 US at toydojo.com. All right. Thanks a lot, everyone. Hope you have a good one.